Hi, I'm Sandy Genovese, and this was my inspiration for the project that we're going to make today. You can see I got very inspired because I ate the ice cream, but I thought that it would be fun to use that inspiration to create party favors. I've got a bunch of them sitting on the table here. These are actually party favor boxes for when you host a party. And you can see that it's perfect for holding this one. I have candies, but it's a nice good sized box. So it could have little toys if it's a kid's party. If it's an adult party, it could have, little jewelry things, anything that's themed for the guests at the party. This is for when the party's at your house. When you attend a party as a guest, then we're going to look at fun little magnets that you can leave on the fridge when you exit the party, and usually the hosts don't find it till the next day when they're cleaning up. All inspired from the ice cream bars, my personal favorite dessert. Well, we're going to start, let's look at this guy here, and we're going to look at how to make this. And when I made these, I used a Sizzix die, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to make it. But in case you don't have the die, we're going to see how to make it from scratch as well. So in order to start, let me bring up my parts and pieces here. The die comes and it cuts the box bottom and the belly band that wraps around the box. So for the box bottom, it has all of the creases. So you're first going to fold on every one of the score lines, all in the same direction. Before you add adhesive and close it up, I am going to need a slit so that I can put that popsicle stick inside. So I'm going to just take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut a slit right in the middle of what is the end of the box. So it's just about a 1/2 inch slit is all it needs. And then while it's flat, I think it's easiest to go ahead and put the stick in. Initially, I actually took a little wooden popsicle stick and I put it in, and it does work, but it tends to want to either flip up or flip down until it's full with candy and it can be supported. So I prefer to go ahead and just cut a stick, a piece of paper that looks like a stick. I'm going to slide it in. It'll sit in this position, but first, to anchor it, I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back side, and once I can tell that it's straight, looks like it's straight, I'll fasten it down like so, and then when I put the box together, I'll straighten this right back out. Now I'm going to put adhesive on the different tabs. So while I have this out, there's adhesive that's going to go on this side tab, and then the box bottom has 3 tabs. So I'll put adhesive on all of these. And then when I fold it up, I'll just press in order to construct the bottom of the box. When I get to this final section, I'm going to tuck this in so that I'm pressing on this section, and then I'll come around and press on this section. And see, now that my hand's out of the way, I can put this so that it will sit out like so it looks like the beginning of an ice cream bar. And then the top has the score lines so that it will match, as well as 1 tab for the side. So all I'm going to have to do is place adhesive on the tab, and then I'm going to fold this, and when I fold this in, it will overlap. This is going to give me what will be the belly band, so that when it slides over like so, it really starting to look more and more like an ice cream bar. But you really need on the belly band this the chocolate drippings and even the little colored sprinkles. So in order to do that, what I did was I just took a darker piece of brown. I normally would just mark it with pencil, but I marked it in white so that you could really see. But basically you're just going to hand design what looks like drips. And just to save some time, I've already gone ahead and I've cut one out. So here's one that's cut. Now I don't want those little white areas to show, so I'm going to put my adhesive on that side and I'm going to wrap it around the belly band. I say this every time, but you're probably going to want more adhesive than I'm doing. So decide, it really doesn't matter which end is going to be the top, which is going to be the bottom. And I'm going to start on one corner and fold it and just work my way around, and each time I encounter a fold I'm just stopping to finger crease, and then when I get to the end where it would overlap, I think because this one goes right to the edge, I'm going to lift this up and put this one underneath, fasten it down, and then put this one back over the top. And then I'll go back and really press down so that that adhesive can set up. But press down both directions. So you can see you now have the chocolate drippings. And then in order to create the sprinkles, I've used these sticker design lines, and if you don't have design lines, I'll put a link up to a place where you can still get these. But all I'm going to do is just cut sections, and cut as many as you want. They don't all have to be squares. You can come in and do triangles and rectangles. Once you have them in little strips, then I'm just going to create a random pattern. Sometimes it looks really kind of fun to overlap and have a few that look like they overlapped when you sprinkled them on. So you're just going to continue to pull them off and attach as many sprinkles as you want. And I actually went all around the sides. I think I would, in hindsight, I would do the bottom as well, so that you have all sides decorated. And at this point, you're ready to go back and put whatever little favor you want to go inside. Now this is if you're using the die. Remember I said I want you to see how to do it. Rather than make the exact same ice cream bar, I thought I would take this opportunity to show we're going to make the same box, but we're going to decorate it so it looks like the Neapolitan bar. So in this example then, what I have are pink for the base. So this is going to be the box bottom and the box lid. In order to get the bottom, what I did was I used my scoring tool. Mine is from Stampin' Up, and I use it all the time. I just love it. I started with a piece of cardstock that was 5 inches by 6 inches, and I've marked with an arrow 1 5/8 is the channel that I'm going to use for this, because that's the size of the sides of the box. So in order to match the die cut, I thought I would do it the same. So I'm going to take my scoring tool and rest it in this channel and then score. And then I'm going to turn it and score in the same channel. So once I've marked with my arrow, I'm going to just rotate and score all 4 of the sides. Once you have those scored, then I can get this out of the way. Then you want to go back in with a pair of scissors, and I used the long 6-inch side, and I'm going to cut a slit along my score line, and then I'm going to go back, and it goes together better if you do a tiny little wedge. So just the narrowest of little triangles I'm going to cut out just on this side. Don't do here. Now flip it around and do the side across. So once you have this, you're going to fold on the scores, but see, this is where the popsicle stick is going to go. Once again, you're going to want to cut that slit while it's flat. So it's easiest to do. I have a cutting pad under my surface. You wouldn't normally do that right on your desk. You'd want to bring in your cutting pad, but I have a cutting pad under here. So that's going to be where the stick is going to go. Now I'm going to go ahead, and if I don't want these pencil lines to show, I think I'm going to flip this over and fold in this direction. So you just need all your folds to go the same way. So I'm going to fold everywhere. And then once you have everything folded, you're going to put adhesive on the 4 tabs, which are the corners. Remember, more adhesive. And then just bring it in and overlap. I like the outside edge to look solid, so I put the flap on the inside. Do the same thing on this edge. So you end up with a nice box bottom. Now for the belly band, all I did was cut a piece of paper that matches this dimension here and then wrapped it around. So I started in one corner and wrapped it, and as I got to the corners, I just finger pressed, so that you're going to just use the creases that are already existing in the box in order to just recreate a belly band with creases in the matching spot. Then go back, because you've just lightly finger creased, and make stronger creases on those fold lines. And then the one, in this case, I've made a nice long flap, which is just easy to work with. So close this up and bring this right over the top. And you've created the belly band that's going to wrap around. So I haven't put the stick inside, but you can see how it starts to look like this. At this point, all you need to do is just cut 1-inch strips of white and of brown, and you're going to just do the same thing. Finger crease with your hands around the belly band, and then go ahead and fasten them down with your adhesive, and you'll end up with a really fun Neapolitan looking. It's so hot out here today. I'm really wishing I had these. Now this is when you are having the party at your house and you're hosting and you want to give party favors. When you're going to be a guest at another party, it is so fun to make these magnets. And if you look here, you can see I've put them on a metal clipboard so that they'll stick. But we're going to see how easy it is to do. These are just using these business card sized self-adhesive magnet that I pick up at Staples. They come in a box of 50, and I noticed when I was there this last weekend, I think they also come in packets of like 10 if you only want a few. So what you do, it starts business card size. The first thing I did was I trimmed a 1/2 inch off, so I only have it felt a little more like it was the right size. Then I'm going to peel off the backing, so now it's sticky. And I'm going to take this one, which I didn't fasten down, so that I can show you. Let me trim off a stick. I'm going to place the stick so that it sits on the magnet with as much exposed as you want. And then in order to get it to look like a chocolate bar, I just took some brown paper, and I'm going to line up the bottom and the sides. Then all I have to do is trim off the excess. It's already starting to look pretty chocolatey. I did go back, I won't stop to do it now, and used a corner rounder to get what looks a little more like the roundy edges. I'll go ahead and do one. So you can see I've rounded one. You would do the same thing on the other side. Then you're going to just go back add your little chocolate strip at the top just like we did on the box, add the sprinkles just like we did, and you can easily cut and make really fun hostess presents. The cool part about this is, like I said, you just put it on the fridge when you leave, and it says, this one says, I came, I ate, I loved it, thanks. This one says, thank you for the invitation, thanks for the invite. Any little message that you want, your party hosts will find it usually the next day when they're cleaning up. And it's such a fun surprise for them. And now you don't have to go home and write a thank you card or send an email. You already did it. You know, ice cream boxes and magnets are like a little bit of summer on a stick.